Good evening and welcome. Tonight we will be going over the history and geography of Béchar in Algeria. Now, like I said in yesterday's video, if you watched that about Nigeria, I mentioned that whenever I typically talk about the Sahara Desert in my videos, I say typically, oh, it's not like you imagine where it's rolling sand dunes as far as the eye can see. There's mountains and wadis and rock formations, so on and so forth. But that is not true today, because pretty much this whole part, you can see all of these dots here on the map. That is part of the Grand Erg Occidental, which an erg is pretty much what you imagine when you think of the Sahara. It is rolling sand dunes as far as the eye can see, and it's very beautiful and haunting in that kind of emptiness. It's really fantastic. You can see another erg right here. So yeah, we will look at this incredible landscape on Google Earth toward the end of the video. You're going to want to stick around for that. But the entire province isn't just sand dunes. There is an area right here called the Hamada. This is the Hamada du Gir, I believe. And a Hamada is kind of like the same type of empty expanse as far as the eye can see, but it's a lot flatter and it's a lot rockier. Lots of stones and pebbles and rocks around. So that sweeps in through here, kind of like this whole area here. And you'll be able to very clearly see the difference between this part and this part on Google Earth. The largest settlements in Béchar province is, of course, Béchar, the capital there, and also Beni Abes, right here. Which, actually, now that I mentioned Beni Abes, in my research, I saw on Wikipedia that Wikipedia says that Beni Abes made its own province. And I saw nothing of that anywhere else, but there was like many Wikipedia articles about Beni Abes province and how Béchar was split in half. I have not seen that anywhere else, so I know I have a lot of Algerian viewers. So let me know if that happened and just like got cancelled or something, like it was planned to happen but then didn't, or Wikipedia is the one that's updated and everyone else isn't. I would appreciate that, because if Beni Abes is its own province, then that video is coming up in a few weeks. So do let me know, because even this map has Béchar as one big province, right? And this map is from 2021, so it's pretty recent. I don't know what was up with that. But I'm actually kind of glad that all the other sources say this is one big province, because there's lots of cool things to show you here in Beni Abes. Hold on. I was about to seg into history. That would have been a perfect spot, but I forgot to mention something about the geography here. You can see on this map the various wadis throughout the desert here. A wadi is a temporary river in which, during the wet season, this is a big flowing river, but during the dry season it is a completely dry riverbed. The largest you can see, kind of like running through here, that is the Wed Saura, I believe you pronounce it, and it creates this landscape known as the Saura Valley. And in terms of many geographic aspects of Béchar province, it was designated as east or west of the Saura. It's a very important river, wadi, flowing through here. But let's seg into history, starting near Beni Abes. And along this kind of valley area are some really incredible examples of rock art. And actually not just rock art, as I'm going to show you on Google Earth later. There are some rocks in this valley that have fossils of creatures that are long extinct, that existed when all of this was the ocean. And probably all of the earth was mostly ocean. They're really amazing to look at. You're going to want to stick around to see those really cool fossils. But the people that lived here and still live here were of many different cultures, mainly coming from the Berber, I guess, ethnicity, culture, community. I'm not trying to describe it. All throughout, you can see all of these little towns you see are oases. And many different peoples settled in and around these oases, trading amongst each other and creating their own cultures and ways of life in those communities. And like I said, many of which are preserved today, especially down in these southern ones. That is I can't see, I'm too far away from my map. Talalaya, this town in particular. I'm sorry. Islam wouldn't arrive until about the 12th century, sort of changing up the culture here a bit, and it's been pretty unchanged since. The only thing that really changed it was the French, because of course the French took over Algeria and slowly made their way through the desert, conquering as they went. They would take over Beni Abes in 1901. And of course the people here resisted. There was a large battle in Taghit, which is right here, in 1903, which the French were victorious, and they pushed out the people who were fighting back against them. But you can also imagine that during the revolution against the French, the Algerian War of Independence, that there was a lot of violence here as well as there was throughout Algeria. It was a very turbulent independence movement, which Algeria would gain its independence in 1962, right? 1962. Let me check my notes real quick. Yes, 1962. 1962. But that was not the end of conflict here in Béchar, because there was some conflict with their neighbors. You can see that Béchar province borders Morocco, but this border was not established, and disagreements between Algeria and Morocco led to what's known as the Sand War, that lasted from the end of 1963 into the beginning of 1964, where the two countries fought over where the line should be drawn. And as you can see, a line was indeed drawn, and this is a recognized border today. And pretty much that is where we are today. I think the only more recent developments is tourism, especially I want to say in Taghit and Beni Abes, is like Sahara Desert tourism, where you'll see it on Google Earth. You can have adventures in the sand dunes, riding like dune buggies and going camping out in the desert and things like that. Lots of music festivals out there in the sand as well. Pretty neat, I think. But I think we should head over to the tablet and check out what this place looks like on Google Earth. Here we are in Béchar province. Let's start by zooming out so you can see exactly where we are. See, like even Google Earth says that it's all one big province. I don't know what that was talking about. But here we are in the Sahara of northern Africa. This whole big stretch here, stretching across this very large continent. You can see very distinctly the Sahara region from the rest of Africa. And of course, Algeria is up in the north. Algeria is the largest country in Africa. And as you can see, it is mostly desert. That is very true here. So here in Bechar, you can see some of that Hamada landscape that I was mentioning. This kind of plateau rocky area here. With the erg over here and over here. You can really see it, can't you? Let's start by checking out Béchar, the capital, the province's namesake. Boom. Zooming in, let me turn off the everything filter actually real quick. I didn't really find any cool slideshows in here, so we're gonna just look at the general slideshow, which is pretty amazing, I think. Isn't that beautiful? There's some really beautiful architecture in this region. Beautiful big fountain here in the center of town. Some old, I want to say French style, but that's pretty like modern colonial style. Like modern, like in the later times, which makes sense because the French didn't reach this area as fast as other parts of Algeria because we're in the desert. You can see an oasis there. And beautiful trees. Oh, look at the view from above. You can see the sand dunes as well. It's a nice watery area there. And it's really beautiful. Look at that minaret. Wow. Oh, wait. Oh, never mind. I was going to say the background of that picture is really pretty, but I'd have to scroll through them all again to show you. Anyway, what shall we look at next? I need to zoom out more. There we go. Let's head over to Beni Abes. I'm going to show you something really cool that I didn't mention in its history. Hopefully it'll pop up. Let's see. I may need to turn on the everything filter. Aha, here it is. This is the Hermitage of Charles de Foucauld. Now this guy was a French, I want to say like monk, religious figure who just decided, goodbye, I'm leaving France, I'm going to the desert. And he relocated here to Beni Abes, and he built his hermitage, where as you can see there, he is right there. He built just a little shack where he would pray all day. And it's his tomb there, I think. He really bonded with the Tuareg community here and learned to speak their language and everything. And was pretty much one of them, you know. And sadly, he was actually murdered when a rival Berber tribe was trying to kidnap him, and in the kerfuffle of trying to stop that, he was killed. And this is where he is buried, and he was recently canonized as a saint. Pretty neat. Interesting life. That would probably make a good movie. Really fascinating. I saw the museum over here. I can't remember if I looked at this slideshow or not. Let's see. I don't think I did. I don't remember. Oh, look at that sand dune. Yeah. Oh, there's a little deer. Little birds. Some old, looks like jewelry there. That's really beautiful. I was hoping we'd see more of the interior of the museum. Oh, buzzard. Oh, look at them go. Running down the sand dune. Some bugs there. Insects, I should say. Some neat pottery and basket. That's a beautiful basket. Looks like a family tree of sorts. Something here. Kind of looks like coral, doesn't it? I don't know what that is. And some birds. Okay, I do remember this slideshow now because I remember this. Seeing the bird migration map. That's pretty cool. I would spend my time looking at that. All right, since we're here, I have to remember where it is to show you these rock formations. I want to say it's nearby. Not rock formations, the rock art. Here we go. Boom. Really beautiful, right? And I wonder if this is some green Sahara art, because some of these look like giraffes. Some of these look like ostriches. Because if you didn't know about the green Sahara once upon a time, the Sahara was like Central Africa, where it was very thickly forested with lots of animals. Here is one of those fossils I told you about, but we'll see some better pictures of them. Let's see. There's some creatures there drawn onto the rocks. There's another fossil. What a fascinating creature. Look at that. You can see the bands on them as well. They almost look like art themselves, all fossilized into the rock. Let's see. Look at that. An old cephalopod from long ago. This one's really clear. Look at all the designs they had on them as well. It's so fascinating. Look at that. That is really neat. What an amazing fossil. Okay, there's some more. You just look in the rocks and you see times long ago, just like this guy's appreciating the art. Pretty cool, I think. All right. I think lastly, I need to show you this town here. This is Taghit. And Taghit, there we go. Make sure I highlight it there. Has a lot of neat slideshows here. I need to pull up the everything filter. Oh, I do have it on. Okay, just checking. Because if I go over here, yes, Taghit Sahara Desert. Can take a little tour of the oasis. See all of these beautiful sand dunes. Get a camel ride out. Bring all your friends and go sandboarding, or bring your ATVs or your trucks and just enjoy this endless expanse. Look how beautiful this picture is. Oh my gosh. This could be a painting. Isn't that lovely? All the layers. Oh, I love it. The big sky as well. I can't forget that. There's nothing hindering your view of the beautiful sky. This is really pretty. That's a great photograph. Some of the incredible architecture here. Oh, the stars. I bet you can see every single star that exists out here in the desert. Really cool. Almost like a hoodoo there. Wow. Fantastic. And of course you go camping. Bring all your snacks and lay out under the date palms to enjoy the scenery around you. I think there was another slideshow around here that I really liked. Here we go. This one. Les Dunes. Just because you can see this rolling ocean here of sand. And a big party happening here, it looks like. And riding up, boom, 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 up at the hill there, up at the sand. It looks like so much fun. And it's just so hauntingly beautiful, isn't it? Just this forever. Look at all the people gathered up on top. That is awesome. Yeah, there is something just so mesmerizing about this style of desert. It's so mesmerizing. What was it? I found a really cool slideshow somewhere else around here. Was it in the mountains? around a lot. Oh, right here, the oasis. I was just thinking how, you watch old cartoons and you see them have like mirages of the oasis, and then they find it and it's a little watering hole. And how, like, stuff from old cartoons aren't really like as they were depicted in the cartoon stuff, like quicksand or like piranhas, those aren't how they are in real life. But oases are. They are just little pockets of water surrounded by big date palm trees out in the middle of the desert. It's like if you were to just draw a picture of, like, if I said draw a picture of an oasis, you would draw water, you'd draw the palm trees. It's exactly like you would imagine. How great is that? Let's find one more cool picture to close out this video. Now, I should note that there are many other slideshows throughout this province. I'm just showing you my favorite ones. So I highly encourage you to hop on Google Earth when you have the chance, whenever you're bored. And there's also some rock art here, but it's kind of sad because they've been graffitied all over. So we're not going to look at that one. That makes me sad. I encourage you to check out all these slideshows yourself and see if you can find anything else that's really cool. Something like this. So we're going to end it here for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this style of content, please consider subscribing. And now is the time to do it, because in my series we are going to England next. It's my first video in the series in England. And we're going to see some neat stuff. If I told you I'd show you elephants and zebras in England, would you believe me? If not, then you should definitely stick around for tomorrow's video. If you learned something cool in today's video, give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you learned down in the comments. And also, once again, shout out to all the Algerians who watch me. There's a bunch of you, and you're all very kind. I hope you enjoyed today's video. And I hope that all of you found this video to be relaxing and educational. And I hope that you have a good night. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night.